You run the risk when you're arguing with a fool of making him feel like he's smarter than he actually is. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Napoleon Hogan's Ministry. Today we are in chapter 26 of our 31 days in Proverbs, 31 days in Proverbs, 31 days in March. Okay, so chapter 26 basically just talks about the foolishness of a fool. That spends the whole time really going over the downfalls of the foolish, and how wisdom is not fitting for a fool. Okay, as usual, several verses stood out to me in this study, but I've only got a few written down here because else we'd be here all day, because I pretty much highlighted a whole lot of that chapter. Definitely worth a read. Okay, so verse 1 is the first one that stood out to me. It says, like snow in summer and rain at harvest, honor is inappropriate for a fool. So it's basically saying someone who is foolish, giving them any place of honor, elevating them at all is inappropriate. And I love how it makes that distinguish of not just wrong, but inappropriate, as it's not fitting for a fool. Okay, verse 4 says, don't answer a fool according to his foolishness, or you'll be like him yourself. So Proverbs has mentioned this before, but if you argue with someone who is unwilling to be teachable, you are not going to change their mind. You will get frustrated, you'll get angry, and you'll lash out. You'll like it says, there's an opportunity for you to be like him. And verse 4 goes directly into verse 5, which is the next verse I had picked out. It says, answer a fool according to his foolishness, or he'll become wise in his own eyes. So you run the risk when you're arguing with a fool of making him feel like he's smarter than he actually is. If you're talking to someone who just will not be wrong, just don't. Just don't, because they will always be you. All you're going to do is make them think that they're wiser and smarter than they actually are. Sometimes it's just walk away. Just walk away. just don't have the conversation. Okay, verse 7. A proverb in the mouth of a fool is like lame legs that hang limp. Again, I love that illustration because it's just think about that. Imagine that for a second. A proverb in the mouth of a fool is like lame legs that hang limp. It means nothing. It can do nothing. It has no power behind it. It's just there. It means its meaning is nothing. It's not even worth listening to. Verse 11, as a dog returns to its vomit, so a fool repeats his foolishness. That is very self-explanatory. A fool will continue being foolish. It just will. Until God gets a hold of them or something happens that they were willing to be introspective. Verse 18, like a madman who throws flaming darts and deadly arrows. Goes right into verse 19. So is the person who deceives his neighbor and says, I was only joking. Look, so just because you think it's funny doesn't mean it's actually funny, right? If you're telling a joke, it needs to actually be funny. The meaning behind this proverb is really just saying getting a laugh or a deal or any type of something at the expense of somebody else really just isn't worth it. Typically, people who are like this and do this, where it says, so is the person who deceives his neighbor and says, I was only joking. You ever get a joke from someone who it's not really a joke? They're being serious, but they're like, oh, I was only joking. That's what this is talking about. Deceives your neighbor, deceives you, deceives somebody else, with the goal of hurting you, and then saying, I was only joking. You can't be mad at me. That's not the type of person you want to be around, or that's not the type of person you want to be. And two, the Bible is very clear that being around that type of person, where it says, like a madman who throws flaming darts and deadly arrows, you will get hurt. So will someone else, because the person who seeks to hurt you and then say, can you imagine the amount of just evil that is, to seek to genuinely hurt someone and then say, I was only joking? That's just not the person you want to associate yourself with. You need to put a boundary there and just be like, no, we're gonna be good. I'm gonna love you from a distance, right? I'm gonna love you enough to get to, not keep you there and say, you can change, But I'm gonna love me and you enough to know that this relationship is not, it's not gonna be a thing. Well, thank you for hanging out with me today in this video, going over again chapter 26. Put what you got from this chapter in the comments below. I look forward to reading it. If this video has blessed you at all, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing it to anyone else you think that it would be a blessing to. If it hasn't, hey, well, thank you for being. Until I'm back with chapter 27, God bless. Peace.